storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
Today I have Mr. Johnson here, and you guys may not recognize his face, but this is a man here that has been fighting to get and actually meet his biological son that he has with the spiritual healer. I'm going to put that in quotations because we have never seen any of her credentials. Her name is Ajna Sarah. We're going to talk about her government name here in this video. You've seen her on many podcasts. She's big on Instagram. I think she has about 255,000 followers.
I think last I saw was about 255 total.
Okay. So she has a pretty big reach. So this is a lady that has allegedly claimed that this man here sexually assaulted her.
Constructive with your fucking life. Your birthday is October the 15th, 1981. Loren Allen Johnson Boyd, rape daddy. You need to stop and you need to get your life together. You wanted the baby, but you the rape daddy. You don't get to keep the baby, rape daddy. I got rid of the baby, rape daddy. You the motherfucking rape daddy. Who the rape daddy? You the rape daddy. Who the motherfucking rape daddy? You the rape daddy. You don't get the baby, you the rape daddy. And you will never know where he at, rape daddy. And you will never see the motherfucking boy daddy. And you the fucking rape daddy. Oh, and you the rape daddy. I'm just saying.
Claims that this man has harassed her and stalked her. So we're just going to get through all of this and bring light to this man's story. So, Mr. Johnson, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
So name is Lauren Johnson. I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, actually where I met Ajna Sarah or Reagan Gilmore.
Is that her real name, Reagan Gilmore?
Correct.
Okay, how do you spell it? Is it with the H or with the A? It got kind of confusing.
So she actually spells it two different ways.
Okay.
And one is RHEAGAN, and the other is RAGAN.
Why does she? Well, I mean, I don't know if you know, but why does she spell her name two different ways? It looks kind of weird. Seems kind of weird.
Actually, I'll tell you, even when we dated, I was unaware that she spelled her name two different ways until I actually came across her driver's license that had her name spelled in the shorter version.
So maybe a little bit of an identity crisis going on. I think we can assume. Tell me, how did you and Ajna meet?
So we actually met through Facebook. We interacted initially through Facebook, but one of the groups that we were in had actual live events that we would attend, and she's actually a poet as well, or she used to be really, really big on the poetry scene. So I went to a couple of events and I saw her actually perform the spoken word, and this was around the 2013 time frame. I actually met her in person on her birthday, which was December 1st of 2013.
Okay.
Where we actually, one-on-one met. She actually came up to my place of employment, and we had a sit down and we talked for quite some time, and that's kind of how we started dating.
Gotcha. Okay. And what was her personality like? Was she more outgoing, or was she more of like a reserved person? I know you said she was a poet, but like when you guys were at home, what was her personality like?
So like when we were at home together, like she was still pretty outgoing, really, I would say kind of nurturing to an effect, like she always, spoke really positively and everything like that for the most part. Every now and then, like, I would get flashes of temper flare, not necessarily towards me, but towards her children. And, we kind of would discuss, different ways to address, some of the incidents that might be occurring. So it wouldn't be so harsh of a encounter with her children. But like we never even really had an argument while we were together.
And how long did you guys date, just so we can solidify that time frame?
We started dating toward the end of December, actually going out and hanging out together. And then around April of 2014 is where then she discovered that she was pregnant, and we kind of broke things off.
Broke things off at that point. Okay. And we're gonna come back to that date in just a sec. So you meet her, you eventually move in with her, right?
Correct.
And how long into dating did you move into her home?
Oh man, I would say it was probably a couple of months in.
Okay. So probably like around that January. Okay. Or even that February. So
January, February time frame.
okay. And this is in 2014. So once you moved in, she had how many kids at the time?
So she had 2 boys. That actually lived with her, and then she has a daughter that was placed for adoption prior to us meeting.
Okay. But she had given birth to 3 kids that you knew about.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And we have to say that because, you know, when you have a woman that has put up some kids for adoption, you never know if there were some that she just never told you about. So I have to address all that as alleged. So, okay. So you get there. You know, I could understand there would be some growing pains. You know, a man comes into the house, you know, you're bringing structure, you're bringing rules. The kids ain't really used to that. So I could definitely see some conflict there. But you guys didn't have any issues until she found out she was pregnant in April 2014.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about that. How did she act once she found out?
So it was more of a situation where she was like, felt like surprised. Her mannerisms started to change a little bit, you know, like, you know, kind of standoffish.
Okay.
And it was like situations like, you know, what we would often have conversations about, like what her mother would think about the situation or the people that in her life, you know, because again, we hadn't dated for very long before she became pregnant. So I guess she would often relate concerns to me about, you know, how people would perceive that situation and the fact that, you know, we met online and all this other stuff.
But that doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm not saying you're lying, but from her end, like that don't make sense because she already had a couple kids. So it's not going to look any different for you to have another. Once you got 2, what's another one?
Yeah, and one of my, you know, conversations with her was, you know, as adults, you know, we knew what we were doing when we were having an intimate relationship, and you know, we have to take that responsibility as it comes. I mean, I have another child that, you know, was conceived when I was still in high school and everything like that. Instead of not take care of my kid or whatever, like, you know, that's just, you know, who I am. I'll just be 100%. My father wasn't there for me, so I refuse to be in a situation where, you know, I have children that are out there that I'm not there for and, you know, able to be a part of their life.
I respect that because I know a lot of women that wish they had a man that even cared enough about their kids to even check on them or try to find them. So I definitely respect that. Ajna Sarah has made claims that Mr. Johnson sexually assaulted her, that this was a rape baby, as she has put in many text messages, speeches, videos. I've seen them for myself. I've seen the stuff that Mr. Johnson sent me. I've went really, all you got to do is hashtag her name and watch the videos. It's pretty much in everything she says, she calls herself a rape survivor.
And I sincerely mean this. I sincerely mean this. Especially if you have I have a history of violence. I have a history of psychosis. There's a reason why I placed my daughter up for adoption at birth. Because I have like a mental health history of violence. That's the best way that I can put it. Like violence. And because it's been over a decade since I've operated from that place, because it's been over 8 years since I've been in a psychiatric stress center, and I've genuinely altered these parts.
So that's kind of like her claim to fame almost. I hate to say that. So when you guys had consensual sex, did you guys use any protection at all?
Okay, so there was never any protection that was used as far as contraceptives that I personally wore. She actually has a latex allergy, and you know she's put this out there, so I'll just go ahead and talk about it. She has a latex allergy that it's depicted on some of the documentation that she's putting out there, saying, "Hey, she had this conversation with her doctor where they discussed the sexual assault in reference to the child."
Right.
Right above that, it says she has a latex allergy. So there was no contraceptives that were being used on my behalf, and I was actually under the impression initially that she was taking birth control pills. She actually had 2 packs of birth control pills. One she kept in her purse, and one that she kept on the nightstand.
Okay. So was it a situation of like she took birth control pills, but maybe sometimes she would miss them. She wasn't really like responsible with it.
So I don't know if the conversation was whether or not she was responsible or she just was not taking. Like that conversation never happened, and in all actuality, the night where she said that Daniel, the child, was conceived, you know, I informed her, "Hey, look, I didn't make it out in time. You know,
Right.
What do you want to do about this? How do you think that we should go about addressing the situation?" As the morning after pill kept her. At that point in time, she said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I think you'll be okay."
That's just interesting that a woman that had already been pregnant several times would even take a chance like that. You would think she would go run and take the plan B if she didn't want a kid.
Right. And she even mentioned in one of her videos that we had discussed whether or not she would take a plan B.
Right. Okay. So she finds out. She's pregnant. She starts acting differently towards you. At what point did how did the relationship end? I guess that's what we should go next. How did the relationship end?
So I'll tell you. I actually came back to the residence after work one day, and like she had a two level townhouse style apartment. I hear rifling and everything upstairs, so I go upstairs and I see her kind of like rifling through the closet. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, I'm not." You know, I'm like, what are you looking for? Is something that I can help you find? And right at the time where I say that, a basket full of like prescription pills just falls out of the closet. And I'm like, "Well, what are those?" And she's like, "This is my medication. I need to take it." And, I'm like, "Well, tell me what it is that you're looking for, because this is a lot of medication. And I don't want to just let you take a bunch of medication
Right.
in this state." And so, like, we kind of set her on the bed, and I said, "So tell me what this is. What am I, And she's like, "It's my medication. I feel like I'm having a psychiatric break, and I feel comfortable in this situation." And she's like, "I've been having these thoughts," and she basically told me, "You might not be here."
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean I won't be? I'm not safe. And she's like, "Well, I'm having these thoughts or whatever, and I don't want to do anything, and I might need to go back into like a treatment center."
Okay.
I'm not trying to go out in my sleep type situation. I'm gonna step back and we'll figure out what we're gonna do about the pregnancy and all of that.
Okay. So she was really having a psychotic break, allegedly. And then if you really think about it, that medication that she took could counteract the birth control, that would kind of account for why maybe it wasn't working either. So,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't really speak to that. And as far as I do know, or as far as the statements that she's made, like she hadn't been taking the medication prior to that. And in all actuality, I actually did not see her take medication that day.
Okay. All right. So, so the relationship ends. And just so we can know and the public can know, were you happy about her being pregnant, or did you want to be a father again? What was your emotional state like with that?
So, I mean, as far as that's concerned, like I have, there's a lot of stuff that was kind of going on with me at the time. I was a government contractor that had just got caught on the sequestration and everything. So I was just kind of trying to rebuild, my situation. I had recently be, become employed with a national retailer or whatever. And I was like, even though it wasn't planned, like I wanted the child. If the child, I don't believe in abortion or whatever. My understanding that she doesn't believe in abortion and everything like that. And then as adults, we made the decision to do what we did. So, I was going to step up to the plate and do everything that I can to make sure that child is taken care of. And I have a pretty strong support system behind me. And, like it wasn't even a question whether or not, I wanted the child. Yes, I wanted the child.
You wanted the child. Okay. So even if she would have been like, look, I want nothing to do with him. I want you to take him. You can raise him. I'm just going to go away. You would have been 100% okay with that.
100% okay with that. I mean, I even had a couple of siblings and a couple of friends that told, look, listen, if you just want to walk away or whatever, we got this. This becomes our child, even though it's his. This becomes our child, and we would make sure that we would do it and take care of it.
Gotcha. Okay, so you had support. So she had options. She didn't have to give your baby up for adoption. She
Correct.
didn't have.
Correct. And I actually informed her 100%. Hey, look, I am totally against that or whatever. If you want to give the baby up and you don't want to have nothing to do with the baby, give him to me. I'll make sure they're taken care of. I don't need nothing from you.
Gotcha. Hey, that's yeah. So she had an out and she chose to go another route. Right. So okay. So she's pregnant. At what point do you lose contact with her?
So I want to say like we communicated up through June or so before I actually lost contact with her. Like I would try to reach out to her and see if we could communicate. And it was I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Don't call my phone. Don't text me. Don't nothing. I'm like we have a child on the way or whatever. Like I need to know like if the child's healthy, if you're healthy, what you need. I mean at the time again I had just started with the national retailer. I was in a pretty significant position. I had great insurance. I'm like, hey, I'll put you on my insurance. Anything that is necessary to make sure that the baby is okay and is taken care of and gets here safe.
Right.
Don't call me. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. Lost complete communication with her until I received a text message from a mutual friend of ours that told me that the child was born and had died at birth.
And this was what, in October 2014 when you got that text message?
Correct.
Okay. So a mutual friend reached out and said the baby was born, but it died.
Correct. I would later find out from that individual that the child was born, but she told him to tell me that the child died at birth.
And he went along with that.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's another topic or whatever. I've actually, had a conversation with that individual, and they kind of let me know how that played out or why they would even come to the point to where they would do that. But at the end of the day, it was done.
Okay. So so in your mind, October 2014, you're not with Ajna anymore. You think that the baby has died. This is all in the state of Indiana, right?
Correct. Okay. And I went all the way I went to the hospitals. I went to the child protective services. I went to the health department, everywhere I could to try to find information on whether or not this child actually died at birth, had a birth certificate, a death certificate. I could not find anything.
Wow. Wow. Which then now we know that she most likely did a private adoption, right?
It was a private adoption.
It was a private adoption. Okay. So just for the viewers that don't know, I used to work for CPS in Arizona. And so we dealt with some situations like that before too, where like the mom would have the baby and she's like, I don't want it, or the baby's abandoned or whatever. So when you go through the courts, they have to actually give it like 6 to 9 months to try to locate a father before the baby can even be adopted out.
Correct. Now in Indiana, that's a little bit different though.
Okay.
In Indiana, it's 30 days. So
30 days.
30 days. So here's a situation where, you know, I had been given information that the child has died. I haven't been able to find or locate any information. So, I mean, I'm just to assume, hey, this was the case. And, you know, as a layperson at the time, I didn't know that I had to go to the state and register as a putative father to be able to even, you know, stop an adoption. And by that time, I was looking for a birth certificate or a death certificate for 30 days.
Right. Because you had still thought the baby might have died at that point because they call it like acknowledgement of paternity or something like that, right?
A pituitary registration. Basically, it gives the father the ability to come forward and basically establish paternity, and then contest the adoption or try to gain custody, in that way.
Gotcha. Okay, but she made sure you didn't even have time to be able to figure that out before the time was up. Okay. One thing I know one question I did have. How did you find out he was named Daniel, or if his name is still Daniel? Like, how did you find out those details?
So she personally told me that his name was Daniel. We communicated for 2 years after she had sent me a text message and said, "Hey, he's alive. Here's a picture of him. He's doing well. These are the types of things that he likes." I mean, like one of the videos that she posted was a video of her burning items along with what was supposed to be the adoption papers or whatever. Items that she was burning were items that I had sent to her to give to him.
So she was just erasing any memory of you that she possibly could. 2 years later, she starts back to contact you. So we're in 2016 at this point, right?
2017.
Okay, 2017. All right. So then I figure you're probably just like really playing nice to try to get as many details as you can from her.
Correct. I basically took on the angle. I didn't want to have a situation where she flipped out. It's like, I'm just going to shut down. I'm not going to tell you anything. So, I tried to make sure that, I was cordial with her all the time. I reach out to her. Hey, if he needs anything, try to get sizes, things like that, just, ways to be able to not only send stuff to him and be a part of his life that way, but see if I can get her to give me the information as to where he was located, who his adopted parents were, and things like that. I did everything that I can to try to coax that information from her without being super aggressive with it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you played it the best you could, because I know me, I probably just would have been freaking out. But, if you would have done that, she just would have cut you off completely and you would know nothing. So at this point, do you have any idea what state Daniel might live in? So
I'm of the impression that he might be in the New York or Connecticut area. I'm not 100% sure on that information. But a lot of things have been kind of pointing in that direction. She stated that, but I can't necessarily, go 100% off of the things that she said, because, we've come to find that a lot of information that she puts out are just false. It's just false.
Right. It's just lies. Yeah. Alleged.
And then, for example, her daughter that was placed for adoption. Her father thought that she was in Maine for 13 years.
Hmm.
He lived 2 hours from her.
Wow.
We were able to link them together for the first time just last month.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a blessing that at least he's found his child. You know, I'm also wondering too, because okay, maybe she called the child Daniel, but whoever adopted your son may have changed that name again to something else completely.
Yeah, that's a possibility. We do know that she published her book, and in the forward, the dedication portion, she actually names him as Daniel. I think it might still be a portion of his name, maybe a first or middle name, and
Okay.
like there's a strong possibility that his name could be Sean. I think one time I was on the phone with her, and that might have slipped out.
Mm.
Like maybe she would call him, by his name, his actual name, but came to actually say Daniel. Like it's not like she was about to say Sean, but said Daniel.
Gotcha. Okay. She slipped up there for a minute, possibly. Yeah, and the thing is too, whether it's Sean or Daniel, those are pretty common names, and then we don't have a last name, so
No, we don't.
yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So you are currently still searching for your son. You want your son. Before we talk about how your life has changed once you started to try and find your son, let us know what efforts have you made to find him.
So we've been in contact with private investigators, attorneys, things like that. We have done pretty exhaustive searches in different areas to try to narrow down to the information that we have currently. It's one of those things where we're consistently doing something. Every day we're doing something to try to find it.
Okay. And then you do have an Instagram page. You can shout out your Instagram page as well.
Do have an Instagram page. We started that Instagram page right after she started making the attacks and actually naming me in her videos.
Yes.
And threatening my other daughter. So the Instagram page is Where's My Son 2014. And we're constantly posting on there and trying to get people to the page to try to, get the word out that we're looking for him and everything like that. And, I want to be 100%, clear. While I am looking for my son and I would love to be a part of his life, we don't want to take him from his adoptive parents. I am married. But, his adoptive parents are all he's known for this long. And we don't want to traumatize him to where, he's been uprooted from the only thing that he's known his entire life.
Yes.
But I do want to be a part of my son's life. I want to be able to get updates on him, be able to, be a participant. I want to be able to participate in his life, whether he's graduating from school or, just learning how to be a man.
Okay. You just want a chance to be there and see and witness some of those milestones.
Correct. Because like I said, at this point, we're 5 years in, almost 6 years in, and that'd be a very traumatizing event just to uproot him from everything that he's known his entire life.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely, it really would be. So, because technically that whole adoption was illegal. Like,
true.
Yeah.
Because we can prove that it was based off of a fraudulent event. But at the same time, her actions shouldn't harm him more than they already had.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so all right. So now that we got that established and the fact that you wanted your child, you would have been open to taking him and you just want the chance to be a part of his life now. So now let's get into the nitty gritty of it. You have been the victim of a lot of attacks. death threats.
Rape Daddy really crazy. I think I might have to shoot him. The motherfucker crazy. Look, you done acted. You done did all this goddamn capping. Acting
with the right motherfucker today, nigga.
To replay this message, press 1. Message saved. New message.
You done fucked with the right motherfucker today, nigga.
Lies, slander. I mean, with whatever synonym you want to put behind that. I've seen the paperwork for myself. I've seen the proof for myself. The text messages where you guys were in a happy relationship on the outside. So now that we've established that you had love for your child and you would have been willing to take him in. Tell us about the death threats, the slander that you've had to go through just trying to find him at this point.
Yeah, like so literally like hours after I came forward to start trying to locate my son publicly, you know, there was an onslaught of death threats, you know, harassment, you know, like I went like weeks with my phone ringing at least 400-500 times a day with from people associated with Ajna, calling and harassing me. My phone number was published online, along with my face and my name, date of birth, everything was published online. You know, even a picture of me in uniform, you know, from a previous employer was posted online, stating that I was a police officer, and that was the reason why she didn't go to the police with her allegations, which is completely false.
Right.
But I mean, she threatened my daughter. You know, people around her threatened my daughter and my brother, and just my family in general. It's been pretty crazy.
So it's been it hasn't been an easy road for you, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Mr. Johnson. When I was reading through what you sent me and doing my own research as well, like this whole situation, it really sounds like a Lifetime movie, and I don't mean to be funny in any kind of way.
I hear that all the time. Like when I try to tell my side of the story, and you know, when I try to tell people about the situation, even people that are starting to kind of learn of both sides, everybody says this is crazy. It seems like something that would have been written in a Lifetime movie, and it's fake. And
yeah,
this is 100% real. It's 100% real child involved in the situation, and you know, like I think some people might think that it's a social media stunt. It's not. You know, like, you know, I have no reason to do anything like this, you know, to try to, you know, gain fame or anything like that.
Right.
I'm trying to, you know, profit off of this situation in any way. I just want to find my son and, you know, be a part of his life, period.
I understand that for sure. And I'm gonna make we're gonna make sure that, you know, we give you another opportunity even after this interview. If you want to come on, if the subscribers have questions for you, if you're willing to do that, then we'll set that up too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you've had many death threats. Ajna has said that, you know, that you raped her, unless she's made those accusations, and you are denying those claims.
Complete defamation. Like I have never sexually assaulted her. I never would. Like, you know, I have a daughter of my own, and I would kill a man for sexually assaulting my daughter. And that's just me being 100% honest or whatever. I would kill a man for doing such a thing to my daughter. And, you know, I won't go into my past, but, you know, there's people very close to me that have experienced that I have encountered that the individuals that have actually done that at a younger age. And I just know what I would have did if I was old enough to actually make a difference.
Absolutely. Okay. And so at this point now, she's going around. She's this spiritual healer. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm gonna leave that at face value. This is her claim to fame is, I'm a rape survivor. Now I'm helping other people, and this is what I do. And I guess to really close things out, if she was sitting right here in front of you and you could say something to her, what would you say to her, to Ashna or Reagan?
So I would tell her, just plain and simple, listen, all of this can stop or whatever. Stop slandering my name. Tell me where my son is or whatever. Like, that's all I want. I want to know where my son is, who he's with or whatever, and make sure that he's okay so I can be a part of his life or whatever. And then stop slandering my name. Stop with the defamation. Take all that crap down because you know it's not true.
And I am gonna reach out to her just to get a statement, after the video is released, though, not now.
No, that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, after the video's out, to see if she will tell her side of the story as she sees it. But we're gonna leave that where it's at. If you could say anything to Daniel, what would you say to him?
Daniel, I am your father. You are not a child of rape. You are not a product of rape. I've loved you from day one when I was informed that you were on the way here. And if I could, you would be with me right now, but I will not uproot you from your parents who you've known all your life and love, and they love you or whatever. They are not at fault. You are not at fault. Just know that I love you and that I'm here for you, and I'm just waiting for the day to meet you.
All right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You seen some pictures of him that she sent you. Who does he look like?
She sent me a couple of pictures. One of him actually doing yoga, I guess, in a gym with his adoptive mom. And then she sent one, I think he was at 2 years old when he was 2. Okay. So he fair skin, short haircut, bright eyes, very handsome young man. We posted those pictures on our Instagram page.
Yeah, I saw that.
At Where's My Son 2014. And we're just hoping that somebody recognizes him or that his adopted parents recognize or get hold of this information and reach out to me. My lawyer's contact information is on the page. The page has an email that comes directly to my cell phone and a couple of other people's cell phones that manage the page. Manage the page. Yeah, if we could get that image out, hopefully somebody will recognize him and make contact with his adoptive parents and just let them know I'm looking for him and there's some information that they need to have.
Absolutely. We will make sure we get this out there. Did you have anything else you wanted to address? Any other accusations or allegations or any final comments?
No. So the narrative has been put out that, I'm stalking Ashna. The fact of the matter is I'm not stalking her. I don't even live in the same state as her. A lot of the information that we're putting out are in response to the information that she's putting out. As an American citizen, as an individual being accused of a crime, I have the ability to defend myself, and the right. That's a constitutional right of mine to be able to defend myself against this slander and defamation. And I'm going to do that, to make sure that people get the information that is accurate. And hopefully, all of it comes to an end with people understanding that, it was all a lie from the beginning.
Absolutely. And you're not even asking for compensation. I didn't pay you to do this interview today. No, you just want to know where your son is at. Right. But that's where we'll end it. And Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna let you know if anybody DMs me with any information, I will pass that along to you as well.
Right. I greatly appreciate that, and I appreciate you having me on. There's a lot of people that need to hear this, and any platform that bring me on to get this information out. I'm very grateful for
Are you suffering from a piece of face? Do you have oily skin, dry skin, or even a combination of both? Do you suffer from acne, hyperpigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, and a myriad of other skin issues out there? Pretty much, no matter what you got going on with your skin, Shay's Creations has a solution for you. Shay's Creations is made in a home, all right, not in a laboratory. It's 100% organic, and this company focuses on skin toning, acne, hyperpigmentation, and preventing inflammation. If you're interested, all of the links to the website and social media info is in the description box below. This video has been sponsored by Bella BT. Now, ladies, do you want to bring the spa home to you? Are you ready to rejuvenate that V all while using natural herbs? This V Steam is taking over feminine care from sea to shining sea, helping women with fibroids, fertility issues, stress relief, and more. And we can even get them cycles back on track. Use Bella BT, that is owned by licensed esthetician Brittany McDonald. All of her contact information is in the description box below. Hair up now and use that Bella BT so you don't be walking around with the spoiled rotten cookie. Are you tired of suffering from bloating, constipation, and other digestive issues? Are you ready to finally lose that food, but that just never seems to go away? Then consider using my colon cleaner. And yes, you heard me right, my colon cleaner. This colon cleaner is made of 100% organic psyllium fiber and has helped people reverse IBS, lose weight, and so much more. All of the information and contact info for the creator of my colon cleaner is in the description box below. Are you struggling with hair growth issues? Are you ready to finally be able to actually put your hair in a real ponytail and not that little knob? Have you found that beauty supply products leave your hair dry, flat, useless, and dull? And are you ready for a change? And if you are, you need to try some Moo Moo Grease. This product was created for us. And nothing will change about your hair if you don't change your regimen. This product can be used in old people, young people, it doesn't matter. The products are 100% vegan and all of the information for Moo Moo Grease is down in the description box below.
It's Storm Show. Ay, it's Storm Show.